Failure is imminent.
He was right about that.
I am failure. I am everything that's mediocre. I am a functionary of failure.
Shoot me!
Who are not needed by our society.
Failure is coiled about me.
You dipshit!
Well, let's see who's commenting.
Shoot me! Why don't you shoot me?
Rai says guns. Vincent says bam, da bam, dam, bam, bam. And Paul says something. Boy, now the chat's moving and I can't see what Paul said. There it is. Paul says Malinex refuses to watch, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. It's ridiculous.
I wanna
Stand
die!
by for
Shoot
failure.
me! Yeah!
Stand by for failure.
You dipshit!
Shoot me!
Let's see who else is commenting here. Vincent says toads full of juice. And Meat Trademark says Miss Martian like riff tracks. I have no idea what that's all about.
Where does meaning come from?
Shoot me!
You will become what you think about most, whether it's true or not.
He was right about that. He was right about that.
What you think about most,
Here's a fun one.
or not.
Beanish65 says BRB gotta take my dose of Mertz. Although he spelled it wrong. Spelled it Metz, but I'm sure he meant Mertz. Yeah, he corrected himself. And Jeffrey Green says and rectangular.
Shoot me! Kill me! I'll make you kill me!
It's okay.
Now, how is this possible?
It's okay.
Boy, Taylor just did something really strange, and it's gone already. It's like it was superimposed over the picture, not even a regular comment. What was that all about? I'm really confused.
Son of a bitch.
Help him to give up.
I knew it. I just knew.
Yeah, and Paul just said Burbank. This Martian says too much data. Too much data, I think. Paul just said Burbank. Brent just said this is American Top 40. Yeah.
This is really amazing.
Stand by for failure.
This is really amazing. I just have to keep going one beat at a time.
Stand by for failure. Piece of pie, bud. Yeah. Yep, there it is. Failure. And Matthew just said, is this a bootleg? No, I don't think it is.
Me, me, mo, ma.
Failure must happen.
It's okay.
People begin to think the mind is something that exists independently of the brain.
Well, what would you do with the brain if you had one?
know the truth. But they can never know the truth. You realize, of course, that they can never know the truth.
Okay, I think it's time. Can you hear me out there? Hello?
Get your volume up.
Hello? Hello? I gotta get my camera fixed. That's what's messed up. Hold on. Ooh, there we are. Yeah, I gotta move it a little bit. Yeah, it's a little goofy. There it is. Okay. Well, I've got this piece of paper here that tells all. So, this is the weatherman. Hello out there. This is the weatherman. I'm with Negativland and artist Sue C. and Company from the Ann Arbor Film Festival in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And that's the 59th Ann Arbor Film Festival, by the way. But you know, we're not actually there. We're just kind of all over. We're virtually there. Yeah. We're apparently live on the internet. So let's see here. I'm actually in Seattle, Washington. And that stuff you see behind me is my living room drapes. And John Wobbly is in San Francisco. And Mark is all the way over on the East Coast in North Carolina. And then Sue C. and Company, they're in Maryland. Yeah. But I gotta warn you right now, anything could screw up and go wrong. A failure might happen. And probably will. In fact, I'd say it's imminent. But you know, with all that in mind, I think we'd better get started, or there really will be a failure. So with all that to go on, let's get started, shall we? Yeah!
It's normal for some things to come to your attention. It's normal for some things to come to your attention.
True or false? May I repeat that?
It's normal for some things to come to your attention.
1 or 0. 1 or 0. Dog or no dog.
It's normal for some things to come to your attention.
It's okay. It's definitely okay. Ask me if it's going to be okay.
It's normal for some things to come to your attention.
Answer, please. Answer, please.
Okay.
Continue, please. Continue, please.
Son of a
1
bitch.
or 0. Dog. Dog.
D, that stands for
Or
duck.
no dog.
True or false?
1.
Damn it.
Or 0. Think 1 or 0. Think dog or no dog.
You
True.
dipshit.
Or false?
It's normal. It's normal.
Dog or no dog.
It's normal. It's normal.
You must choose. You can't have both.
Think dog or no dog without losing the ability to predict why.
Yes or no?
You must choose.
Let me repeat that.
It's normal. It's normal for some things.
Think 1 or 0.
Answer, please.
Think 1 or 0. Dog or when we face a sea of data that is reality, which signals do we keep? Which signals do we keep? 1 or 0.
Yes or no?
1 or 0.
May I repeat?
Dog or no dog. Dog or no dog.
Life is not a mistake. Life is not a mistake. Life is not a mistake.
Oh well. Or like they say, another brain would be a half-wit. Another brain and there'd be a half-wit.
In sworn testimony, you can't have both.
As I said before, give them another brain and they'd be a half-wit.
Not a mistake. Life is not a mistake.
You must choose. You can't have both. You must choose.
He says it's got to go on, the experiment.
In sworn testimony.
He says it's got to go on, the experiment.
1 or 0. 1 or 0. Dog or no dog.
So for a long time, we're gonna need a human in the loop. A human in the loop. A human in the loop.
True or false? True or false? Yes.
The sounds as they appear to you are not only different from those that are really present,
Or no?
but quite impossible.
Good evening and welcome to Ideas.
There was, not long ago, a very interesting experiment.
Idea?
It was a nice day, and several hundred people arrived at the campus of the university at the time appointed.
Yes?
And then, nothing whatever happened.
Nothing.
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 No explanations, no announcements.
Warm.
The visitors stood about waiting.
Melt. Thought.
Then they began to seek out acquaintances and friends, and still nothing happened.
Idea.
Discussing this, they began to argue.
Tolerate uncertainty. Tolerating uncertainty. Tolerating uncertainty.
Ed, I've got news for you.
Quite soon, there were two camps among them, with strongly opposing views. Next, the crowd had separated into two,
Idea.
and spokespeople, men and women, had emerged.
Idea.
Being invited up and then ignored, debates ensued, then quarrels.
One or zero.
Small scuffles began, among the young men first.
Warm.
At that point, when it was obvious that more serious fighting would begin, the psychologist appeared and said that,
Melt.
as Ed explained right from the beginning, this was a social experiment. Research was going on into the tendency of the human mind to see things in pairs. Either or.
S-I-M-P-L-O-T. Simply.
Either or. Black, white.
So let's melt the North Pole.
I and you.
All right.
We and you. Good and bad.
Increases the thirst.
The forces of good, the forces of evil. You, the crowd, have only been here for a couple of hours, and already you are separated into two camps with leaders.
Until that painful thirst becomes moist.
And each side sees itself as a repository of all good.
Thought.
And the other camp as at the best wrong-headed.
Thought.
And you are on the point of fighting about absolutely non-existent differences.
Thought. Which word is the word? Thought.
Our cause is right, theirs is wrong-headed. Our ideas is correct, theirs is nonsense, if not as downright evil.
Thought. Thought. Thought.
It's all about milliseconds.
Few are aware that Congress considered the idea whether or not to melt the North Pole. So let's melt the North Pole.
We will drown the enemy in seas of his own blood. We will drown the enemy in seas of his own blood. We will drown the enemy in seas of his own blood.
Is it true?
Or no?
I repeat from time to time. My brain and I are one. My brain and I are one.
It's all about milliseconds.
My brain and I are one. My brain and I are one.
Dog or no dog.
I repeat from time to time. I repeat from time to time.
1 or 0.
My brain and I are one.
1 or 0.
My brain and I are one.
How much of an advantage?
My brain and I are one.
The simple fact is the world is trillions of times more complicated than we experience it. If you experienced everything when you were crossing a street, you would never get across the street.
A couple of milliseconds.
We have to cut it down to a manageable entity.
A filter bulb.
1/1,000,000th of the information that hits your eye actually gets transmitted to the brain.
You don't actually see what gets edited out.
It's less than 1/1,000,000th of reality that we exist in. Less than 1/1,000,000th of reality that we exist in.
Sweet.
When you perceive something, you have a tenth of a second before it becomes conscious, and it will change in that tenth of a second.
We don't all see the same Google results.
To fit what you already believe.
Networks mimic the human brain. Networks mimic the human brain.
It's all about milliseconds.
See already a different internet than the poor.
Without knowing it, we're surrounded by this array of personalized filters.
There is so much information coming in.
It's almost a membrane that sits between us and the world.
So much information coming in. There's so much stuff going on, and now we have a sort of an information overload. Television and satellites and all that business. There's so much stuff going on, and we are simply losing our bearings. There is so much coming in.
The shorter the cable, the faster the information can be transmitted.
If you want a chance to show an ad to a person meeting this specific criteria, tell me how much you are willing to pay and do it in less than 10 milliseconds.
If you have a certain worldview that doesn't allow you to see the facts, then you won't see them.
Nobody has thought.
And it is certainly nothing physical that makes us know that truth is important.
Flashes of light will change.
It's all about milliseconds.
And ideas will change. So when you have facts that come in that won't fit the way that you understand the world,
they don't get to tell us we didn't see what we saw.
The facts will either be ignored, ridiculed, or attacked. All ideas are physical. They're in your brain. That part of your brain is not going to change. It's like it's not even a fact. This is normal. This is normal. This is normal. They just don't see it.
We have to do it. We have to focus on those few things that are important to our survival. It's an illusion, but it's an illusion that we've all constructed so that we can live.
Together, you feel affection and warmth together. The more they're activated, the stronger it gets. The more they spread, the stronger it gets. The more they spread.
Swing, that's modern.
Until they find the shortest path between them and form a circuit.
Sweet.
Swing.
Wrong. Can only be played one way.
Sweet. Swing,
Predictive
that's
modeling
modern.
predicts
Sweet.
that target.
Swing.
Wrong.
Predictive modeling predicts that target. Predictive modeling. We'd like to know what it is.
What is it trying to tell us? What is it trying to tell us?
Sequitur, the 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 sequitur.
Record everything that happened. If you did, we couldn't fit into our lives. You've got to be just bits and pieces.
Tolerate uncertainty.
Predictions do all the heavy lifting in perception. Predictions do all the heavy lifting in perception. Incoming sensory information just provides a sort of corrective feedback.
Pieces.
Versions of the data for yourself. Versions of the data for yourself.
I'd like to know what it is.
Behavioral prediction is about taking uncertainty out of life.
Predictive modeling predicts that target.
Never really know who's going to buy your product. Until now.
Target variables.
Can uncertainty be tolerated? Can uncertainty be tolerated?
So the brain needs to make predictions.
You've got to be just bits and pieces.
If nothing else, to compensate for temporal delays. So it takes several hundred milliseconds.
The system is functioning properly.
Between when light hits your eye,
this may cause you to lose control,
and your sensory systems can process it, and you can plan a motor act.
All states now have laws which require that children suffer serious injury or death in an accident hook holder nut location.
We make a movement to respond to that.
What does this reduce the cost of?
Tolerate uncertainty.
What does this reduce the cost of?
Tolerating uncertainty.
The system is depressed after it's turned itself off.
David, do you have the Angry Guinea Pigs tape? Do you, I know you might not have that completely handy, but I think it's worth it if we play it.
I found my favorite remote control sound. You hear it?
Oh.
It's Zenith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally found it. Zenith. Isn't that great? It's Zenith.
You finally found it.
God almighty. Now let's
I remember
see.
that part of the show.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find myself again on the screen, and then we'll go for some guinea pig noises, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, there I am. But it's not showing. Let me.
I think you need to kill the scanner radio. That's been in there. That's been in there a while.
No, that's not
what
the
are you gonna do?
Nope. It isn't the radio.
Oh.
So here we go. Oh, let me bring this over to me here. And let's see. Here they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't get much sassier than that. And listen to their teeth chatter. That's good enough for the crystal microphone, I think.
Well, the other thing that occurs to me is the
Yeah.
do you right-click save on the YouTubes of road rage incidents that you post, or are those just sort of you don't document those, right?
I have a lot of them, but I don't have anything with me right now.
Well, I think it's time to do the metronome. So, yeah. Are we all ready to do the metronome?
Let's go ahead and get my camera back to normal. I've got to fix my camera before we do that, okay? There, finally shut them up. Okay. Let's see, what color shall I make myself? Okay. Just turn it off for now. Okay. Okay, I can only see myself. Are we ready?
All right, yeah, let's do it. Are we all ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch over. Okay.
Who has that sound? Is that... Please, nobody tell me that's me.
It's you.
Oh. It's not me. right.
Could it really be as simple as that? Could it really be as simple as that? How often have you heard it? Is there a picture? How often have you heard it? Is there a picture?
Why should the simple repetition of a phrase, without any change at all, cause our perception to shift so dramatically?
That can't possibly be the case. That can't possibly be the case. But it is. Because I played that clip,
yes,
the next time you hear it, that is probably going to feel much more true to you.
Why should the simple repetition of a phrase, without any change at all, cause our perception to shift so dramatically?
The reason is that as we're sort of trying to figure out what's true and what's not true, a lot of stuff just kind of isn't clear to us.
All of us.
How real is it?
It's often real.
No. How real is it?
Nobody has thoughts. A lot of stuff just kind of isn't clear to us.
It's very difficult for other people to understand all of us.
When we don't necessarily have all the information that we need,
it's possible that other people don't process information that we seem to have.
To start to figure out what things are true and what aren't. So we hear things and our brain takes some shortcuts in figuring out whether the thing that we've heard is true or not.
I've got to tell him something encouraging.
We all know that two thoughts cannot occupy the mind at the same time.
And there's two simple shortcuts that our brains take. One is, how often have you heard it? And the other is there a picture? Could it really be as simple as that? How often have you heard it? Is there a picture? How often have you heard it? Is there a picture?
The end of photography as evidence of anything.
How often have you heard it?
Sound doesn't exist.
Is there a picture?
Completely made up by the human brain.
The end of photography as evidence of anything.
Could it really be as simple as that?
The avocado is a pear-shaped fruit with leathery skin, smooth edible flesh, and a large stone.
The answer is yes.
The avocado is a pear-shaped fruit with leathery skin, smooth edible flesh, and a large stone.
There is nothing too wonderful to be true.
The avocado is a pear-shaped fruit with leathery skin, smooth edible flesh, and a large stone.
Just hearing something 3 times. Just hearing something 3 times. Giraffes are the only mammals that can't jump. Giraffes are the only mammals that can't jump. Giraffes are the only mammals that can't jump.
We shape our tools and thereafter our tools shape us.
But in 2010, we have the Obama stimulus bailout culture. But in 2010, we have the Obama stimulus bailout culture. But in 2010, we have the Obama stimulus bailout culture.
The avocado is a pear-shaped fruit with...
But in 2010...
Giraffes are the only mammals that can't...
Imagine that one could study the word idea.
Oh, that pisses me off. That pisses me right
off. Giraffes are the only mammals that can't jump.
Survive means live at sea.
Thought results from speech. Thought results from speech. Thought results from speech. But thought also results from speech.
With leathery skin.
Anything that allows us to connect more people more often is good.
But in 2010...
Could it really be as simple as that?
Now here's the sentence that you just heard. Now here's the sentence that you just heard.
Could it really be as simple as that? Could it really be as simple as that? The answer is yes.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Okay.
Sometimes you see artwork online that you thought you had made yourself, but you did not make it yourself. Watching a mysterious and apparently horrible video that you did not produce but must take responsibility for. We do not know who they are, but they are responsible for our ideas that have been appropriated from us, ideas never meant for public display. You cannot wonder but what happened. If anyone else were ever allowed to hear your ideas, the ones that have been posted online by other people, the music you are using to express yourself belongs to other people.
Small wonder the lady rejects the music.
It's not a human move. I've never seen a human play this move. So beautiful. So beautiful.
Repeated umpteen times.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
It's not a human move. I've never seen a human play this move. I've never seen a human play this move. So beautiful. So beautiful.
Repeated umpteen times before, 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 repeated umpteen times before.
The man who has no soul to his name.
But relies on the artificial intelligence of his own robot, having no capacity for feeling. Cannot produce music in a true sense. You still have time to rebuke the notion that mechanical music is adequate fare for the American intellect. So beautiful. So beautiful. It's not a human move.
Repeated umpteen times before.
I respect you. I will faithfully stand by for your next request of me, and think well of you as I wait inside your pocket.
Son of a bitch.
David, answer me.
You dipshit.
Seeing patterns in unrelated information. So it's really meaningless data, meaningless data, meaningless data, meaningless data. Those patterns do not mean anything. Anything. You know what? Patterns think that they mean something. Patterns think that they mean something. Patterns think that they mean something when they don't.
They're pattern matchers. They spend all of their time just scanning news, looking for things that match the patterns they support.
The problem is we don't have a good baloney detection module in our brain, so we tend to believe almost all patterns we encounter, even the false ones, and we're not very good at discriminating between true and false patterns.
We're headed towards it like an integration.
We are actually going to verify every single experience.
Thinking as a collective is traumatic.
I think sometimes we can disagree with the facts.
You can't do anything.
We end up using metaphors. You know, the brain is like an engine of some kind, or the brain is like a computer, or the brain is like a quantum computer.
Patterns think that they mean something.
Or the brain is like an information processing machine.
Integrating our minds into a common mind.
And the problem with that, of course, is that a lot of people are barking mad.
Correct.
You can always find something resembling the pattern you're looking for.
You can't do anything. You can't do anything. Thinking as a collective is traumatic. You need all this data about how they view the world.
A portal of sorts, but one that you never leave.
They do it to confuse the observers. How big could the opportunity for experiences be?
Patterns.
How big could the opportunity for experiences be? They do it to confuse the observers.
They don't get to tell us we didn't see what we saw.
David, how do you feel about your mouth?
I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about it. Before I can really think about it, I gotta get on my wireless microphone. It's the only way I can think about my mouth right now, okay?
Life abundant. Death.
Oh, I like the feedback. The feedback sounds real good.
Oh, yeah.
Feedback feels it's pretty good.
Wouldn't it be great if somebody could write an app that would identify all the psychopaths among us and let the rest of us just kill them?
Alert the media! We are the media! Alert the media! We are the media!
Can you hear me now? Yeah. I'm on my wireless microphone. And I'm really gonna go out of my mind here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really starting to sound good now. Yeah. And I think it's just about time to open your mouth.
Failure.
We are positioning for an excipidural on your gas line. as I adjust my camera a little more.
Have you get Corrida yet?
And by the way, with much scum. Got it? This is Exhumer 1 speaking. Get that bent ham off Hazel. Do it.
No!
I'm gonna write you off as a nut out. Oh my God! The garbage train just turned over! Would you believe it? The garbage train turned over on West Butt Street. Yeah!
A colony with 30,000 ants.
Didn't that sound nice?
Participate.
Open your mouth!
Participate.
Open your mouth!
Participate.
Open it, I tell you!
Participate.
Open it!
Participate.
Open it!
Participate.
Now we are ready to start. Yeah! Open your mouth! Open it! Open your mouth. And if you have a big one, open it. Open it, I tell you. Open it. Do it. Open your mouth.
Participate.
Seeing that I have lost my wife and my family
dance. I said
and my
dance.
job. Have I hit rock bottom?
I don't see
have
you
I hit
dancing.
rock bottom?
Nope, I don't see
have
you
I hit
dancing.
rock bottom?
You better do it.
Have I hit rock bottom?
Open your mouth.
Let me know in the comments below.
Open your mouth.
Have I hit rock
Open
bottom?
your mouth. Open it. Open
Have I
it, I
hit
tell
rock
you.
bottom?
Open it. Open it. God damn it. Get that bent ham off Hazel. Do it. Come on. Do it before my goddamn beard falls off. Okay. Now we are ready to start.
Have I hit rock bottom? Have I hit rock bottom?
Was not an option.
And I think I'm going to start singing. I am going to start singing. I'm going to start singing. Ooh, I'm singing. I'm singing.
So that we might know who you are. Pick up against a preserved turtle shell. Designer.
I'm singing. I can't believe it. I'm singing. Whee! On the crystal microphone.
It's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn.
I'm singing.
To sing now. To sing now. To sing now. To sing now. To sing, to sing, to sing now.
Ooh, I'm singing all over hell.
It's always going to be my turn to sing now.
Yo, I'm singing.
It's always going to be my turn to sing now.
Singing.
And I'm going to sing now.
Singing. Oh my God.
Sing, 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 sing,
Can't
sing,
wait
sing,
for
sing,
my
sing, sing, sing.
midnight chicken.
Sing, sing, swing, sing.
That was so fun. I might just die. You just better watch yourself, okay?
hit rock bottom? Let me know in the comments below.
To repeat. To repeat. To repeat.
Or no.
True or false? May I repeat that? True or false?
If it's not nice, it must be bad.
Sort of alive.
Let's talk about some things that we know. Let's talk about some things that we know.
Sorting fable from fact has undoubtedly been a problem to man since he first began to speak.
Let's talk about some things that we know. Let's talk about some things that we know.
I agree with you. There is no planet.
Let's talk about some things that we know. Let's talk about some things that we know.
The truth is that your brain...
Let's talk about some things that we know.
The truth is, brains evolved to control bodies.
No! How do you know if your tongue is really too big for your mouth?
Tongues. You don't feel your heart beating most of the time.
Stick your tongue out right now and look in the mirror.
You don't feel your lungs expanding most of the time.
When you talk,
detect people.
Can your listener see your tongue?
At checkpoints.
You'd never pay attention to anything outside in the world ever again if you could feel every little movement that was going on inside your body.
When you talk,
tongues. Tongues.
Can your listener see your tongue?
So your brain represents those as a summary, and these feelings are not emotions.
And you may feel it coming out while you're talking.
True. True. They are properties of consciousness. The brain, its fundamental job,
tongues,
is to keep your body alive and well.
Detect people.
Because your tongue might be a little bit too long.
If you don't have some kind of
at checkpoints
body
tongues
to regulate with affective feelings that come from that regulation.
Sometimes you mispronounce sounds or words because maybe your tongue is so wide that it keeps you from keeping your lips closed.
One more time.
If you don't have some kind of
body.
Hey. you're kind of going to be...
The bees are tested for their ability to stick out their tongues on a cotton swab. Bees that purr voluntarily can be seen on a computer screen.
Out of luck, I think.
So by now you may have decided that you do indeed have a tongue that is too big for your mouth.
Dogs.
I invented a tongue stick.
Dogs.
I invented a tongue stick.
Tongues.
Hey!
And this is not good.
Yeah! Look! Body! Body! Hey! Body! Body! Body!
You do not want to breathe through your mouth.
Parts per trillion. Dogs. Finely tuned vapor sensors. Excuse me.
You do not want to breathe through your mouth.
I wasn't being given my choice.
Well, I just want peace for you. Well, I just want peace for you. So that's why I'm suggesting that you kill yourself.
Don't ever stalk me again.
Hey! Hey! Yeah! Look! Body!
Dog proboscis extension reflex.
I want to say yes.
Detection platform systems.
Nobody can deny these images.
Yeah, I want to say yes. But
Nobody can deny.
I don't remember.
And this is not good. You do not want to breathe through your mouth.
They want us to know.
You do not want to breathe through your mouth.
Reusable harnesses.
Nobody can deny these images.
I love how these cosmic photos are displayed in the highest resolution.
But he still doesn't get it. Did you get it?
No! Look! One more time!
Such a bizarre lie. You lied to me on television.
He still doesn't get it. He still doesn't get it. Did you get it?
Yep.
He still doesn't get it.
You lied to me on television.
This is not about you.
Yeah!
I don't think he quite understands how important nice photos are for the beauty of my grid.
This is not about you.
Nobody can deny these images.
I don't think he quite understands how important nice photos are for the beauty of my grid. I don't think he quite understands how important nice photos are. He still doesn't get it. So.
You know, something that tells you this is not an actual photograph of the Earth.
I don't think he quite understands how important nice photos are. He still doesn't get it.
Your pixel has been added properly.
Predominates in your arsenal.
The major advances in civilization are processes that all but wreck the societies in which they occur.
The major advances in civilization are processes that all but wreck the societies in which they occur.
The major advances in civilization are processes that all but wreck the societies in which they occur. The major advances in civilization are processes that all but wreck the societies in which they occur.
This is not about you. This is not about you.
He still doesn't get it.
If it's not about me, what the hell am I going through all this
must
for?
Happen.
Son of a bitch.
David, answer me.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing?
Give me that.
No.
D, that stands for Denver.
God fucking damn it.
Are you always this pathetic?
Shit.
Son of a bitch.
I am not pathetic.
Trust your memory. Convince yourself you can remember.
I'm calling the police.
Possible, okay?
Certain men always get their way.
The digital black hole.
I gave you everything, don't you dare fucking complain to me.
All of today's computer-generated data will be inaccessible to future generations.
You know, humans are not going to survive forever. That's a fact.
Why, you little bitch!
We don't know how long. We don't know how long we'll survive. You know, we could survive 1,000 years, or 500 years, or maybe 1,000,000 years. Without being negative about the whole thing, the question is, well, what could we do today that would make our life more meaningful?
These stories are lost.
Our existence more meaningful.
The digital black hole exists.
Not as individuals, but as a species. If you ask what's unique about us,
Let me repeat that.
what would we have to offer the future if we weren't human anymore?
Yes or no?
I don't think it's our genetic profile.
May I repeat?
You know, it's our intelligence and what we knew about the world. What did we learn? What was our some knowledge that we had accumulated?
Self-confidence. Your memory will be improved if you truly want to improve it.
This is what beings in the future would want to know. I talk about various ways we might think about preserving that. What we knew.
Burns me up.
Tell yourself you can and you will.
How do I benefit the future as opposed to what's benefiting me?
I say to you, this statement is false.
Make a conscious effort to root out all negative thoughts about your memory ability.
Let's just think about
David, answer me.
If the statement is true, then the statement is true.
Okay.
And if the statement is false,
True or false?
then the statement is false.
Okay.
This statement is false.
1 or 0.
Let's just think about this statement for a minute.
Okay.
If the statement is true, then the statement is false.
Okay.
And if the statement is false, then the statement is true.
1 or 0.
Okay.
And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And I'd like to give you a simple example of this. If I say to you, let's just think about this statement for a minute. If the statement is false, then the statement is true. And if the statement is true, then the statement is false. And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
A human in the loop.
There are always statements that can be neither proved nor disproved.
A human in the loop.
This statement is true. Let's just think about this statement for a minute. If the statement is false,
for a long time,
then the statement is true. And if the statement is true, then the statement is false.
1 or 0.
And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
For a long time,
if the statement is true,
a human in the loop,
then the statement is true.
Human in the loop.
And if the statement is false, then the false statement is true. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. If I say to you, this true statement is false, let's just think about this statement for a minute. If I say to you, if the true statement is false,
The model reveals a problem.
then the statement is false.
The problem suggests a solution.
And if the false statement is false,
The solution creates a loop.
then the statement is false.
The loop enables prediction.
And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
The prediction filters perception.
If the false statement is true,
The perception improves the model.
then the statement is true. Just think about the statement forever.
The model updates the problem.
If the true statement
The problem suggests a solution.
is false,
The solution creates a loop.
then the statement is false.
The loop enables prediction.
And we get into a loop which goes into a loop.
The prediction filters perception.
If the true statement is false,
The perception improves the model.
then the statement is true. And if the statement is true,
The model updates the problem. The problem suggests a solution.
and false, then the statement is true.
1 or 0.
True. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. Then this false statement is true. False.
The solution
And
creates.
if the true statement is false, then the statement is true.
The solution creates a loop.
False. Forever. And we get into a true loop forever. Let's just think about the statement for a minute.
for a long time,
If the statement is true,
for a long
and if the
time,
statement is false,
a human in the loop.
then there is no way we can ever show that the statement is either true or false. This statement is false. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever. And we get into a loop which goes on forever.
Dog.
We get into a loop which goes on forever. and we get into a loop which goes on forever, and we get into a loop which goes on forever. If the statement is forever, then forever is the statement, and we get into a loop which goes on forever.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
There's never been anything like this before.
All gone.
This is not.
I do know that this is not normal.
Is not. This is not normal. I want you to know it's not normal. That's not normal.
I'm a dog. Now, in case you didn't notice,
No memory whatsoever.
This is not normal. This is not normal. It's not normal. And nobody else's children do this.
it's normal. It's normal. It's normal. It's normal.
This is not normal. By the way, this is
not normal.
It's normal. It's normal.
think it's normal.
No.
It's not normal.
It's normal. It's normal.
It's not normal.
You turned it off, and everything you were doing was gone.
This is not normal. This is not normal.
As if this is normal.
And I remember.
This is not normal.
Hey, weatherman. Is this...
Yeah, I'm here.
Is this normal?
You know, I don't really know, but all I can think of is dogs bark with the voices of children pretending to be dogs. And guess what? That's normal! Yeah!
Over and over. Over and over. This is normal. There's a reason why we think in this way. These metaphors are physical. They're part of your physical brain. And you don't know that you've learned them. Physically realized in the neural circuitry of your brain. And that circuit is the metaphor.
Only girls are jealous.
1 or 0. Okay.
Well, I'm absolutely useless at this point. What's that funny? I hear a little humming.
Yeah, we're at the end. We're at the end now, Weatherman.
Now I don't know what to do.
Why?
Do you have a sign? Well, I guess David doesn't need a sign.
Okay. I think that's it.
Are you happy now? I did it. Yeah. Damnation.
Normal.
Thanks, Pat.
So we're clear. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Over here.
I thought there was one more song. I have like